I have several years of experience on the guitar neck, and there's one journey I've had to relearn over and over as I've gotten to each further level of guitar, and that is understanding what melody is. The first level is when I started guitar and I thought melody was just playing single notes, which was maybe the most basic average thing you could start out with. Of course, that is melody, but it doesn't account for anything else of how to make it good. So the second level I learned a melody is that you have to have chords under. Whether you're playing a 1 major, a 6 minor, I just knew you had to have something to build that on top of, which brought me to the next level. Your melodies need to be intentional. And what does an intentional melody sound like? If we're playing an E minor chord, it would be playing a note that's in the E minor chord. And the third level is where I finally realized rhythm is the master of melody. And the way I got here and established it was just playing basic note durations like dotted eighth notes, 1 and 2, and just playing around with the metronome. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and just building up what I knew. And something you're going to notice when you're doing this is whenever you're playing chords, there's always a chord change that happens on a certain note on a bar, usually the first note, and these are something called important notes, which brings us into level 4. Play the important notes really, really well because they shape your melody, and make sure they intentionally match the chord. This was the first major music theory breakthrough I had in melody, because when I have my G major switch to C major, it's only going to be a smooth transition if the lead note I'm playing from G to C is in the C major chord, which would give me the option of playing a C, E, or G. Doesn't necessarily matter which one. And what that level taught me was that there's important notes and there's less important things, and that you have to make sure you hit the right thing at the right time. But what do you do in between? This is where you have to learn between skips and jumps. A jump would just be moving one step in the scale like this, while a skip would just be moving more than one step at a time. And I'd have these really powerful notes when the chords changed, or just had a very strong accent on a certain note, which made them more powerful. And with these skips and jumps in between, it made the melody engaging and complete. But there was one more thing that really needed to be added on, which got us to the next level, which is harmony. This is something you can't really do with just one instrument, but it's something you have to understand. When you play any note, it's major or minor third, depending on what's in the scale. Sounds good when paired with it, whether it's an octave away, below, or in the same octave. And it has a very nice emotion. And you're always doing this when you're actually playing over a chord progression, but having another instrument harmonize with your melody over the chords can create very powerful notes like the ones during chord changes. And the next level is having passive or active melodies. The way I learned this was active, passive. Passive has either a lot of pauses or sustained notes to generate a lot of space for another instrument or vocals. And how can I say all this without getting to the level of understanding counter melodies or underlicks? Both words are used interchangeably depending on the community you're talking to, but this is playing two melodies at the same time that complement each other. One will be passive and the other will almost always be active, and they will match up to create something super good. All your favorite songs do this, where you can hum something under and usually there's a vocal melody on top, and you can either sing this instrumental part or this vocal part, and that is a powerful counter melody or underlick that is actually what makes songs catchy. And of course, the final level that I've gotten to is call, response. A call is usually done by one instrument or one track, and it usually has a more ascending tone to create a question like in human speech, while a response is just the exact opposite, either done in a different track or on a different instrument that responds to that ascending call. It often has a descending response. Here would be an example. of a call and a response. Understanding how melody is formed is what really helped me shape my lead guitar playing. And if you want to kickstart your lead guitar journey, check out my previous video and subscribe for more to master guitar. And of course, if you found this video helpful, comment any other video suggestions so I can help you learn guitar faster and more efficiently.